There's a certain point in your life where you transition from avoiding every stranger you see to talking to them nearly every day. I myself would classify myself as an introvert, which made this transition pretty difficult, along with other reasons that I'll get to later. I still remember the day my school taught my class about the stereotypical stranger driving a white van with no windows and offering kids candy, and something about it scared me so bad. Kids, whatever you do, don't talk to strangers. It can be dangerous, so stay with a trusted adult at all times. Kids, whatever you do, never talk to strangers, or you'll end up like Timmy and never be seen again. It made me think that every stranger on the street was a possible suspect, so when I would walk alone, I would look behind me every 10 seconds. Sometimes I wish I could be like that one friend that can walk up to a random person with no hesitation, have the most engaging conversation, then walk away being invited to their birthday party. I feel like it was way easier to do stuff like that when I was in 1st or 2nd grade. At that age, you can literally walk up to a random kid and ask them if you want to be friends, and you would automatically become best friends with them. But as you get out of that stage and people start forming their own friend groups and popularity becomes a thing, it's way harder. And outside of school, it's nearly impossible. Maybe I should work on my small talk skills and not open up every conversation with, "So, what's your favorite color?" "Blue." "Oh, same. So what's your favorite animal?" Is it just me, or does talking to strangers now feel super awkward? The most common situation I have is when I'm walking on a sidewalk and I see another person approaching in the opposite direction. Okay, so they're not on their phone, which means they're gonna say hi to me, so I should make eye contact with them. But it's weird if I just stare them down the whole time. So I'll look up a few seconds before, okay, they're really close now. "Hi."
Bruh.
Then I proceed to repeat that interaction in my head for the rest of the day. I'm now realizing that I tend to overthink a lot. For instance, whenever I order at a restaurant, I always rehearse what I want over and over. This gives me the opportunity to get in and out quickly, because sometimes the workers that get paid minimum wage hit me with a look that scares me a little, but it doesn't always go as smoothly as expected. "Hi, what would you like to order?" "Hi, can I get the
burger, a medium fry, and a Coke?"
"Sorry, we're out of burgers. What would you like instead?" I don't get paid enough for this. But that's not as bad as being in public and seeing people your own age. If I spot someone who looks remotely close to my age or a couple years younger, and they're with a group of people, I try to get away as quickly as possible or pretend I'm using my phone. And for some reason, if I tell myself to walk normally, I forget how to walk entirely. The only time I can't escape is if I meet with cousins that I haven't seen in years, or my parents' friends bringing their kids, and the adults just push everyone in the same room and expect us to immediately be friends. It usually just ends up with us sitting there in complete silence and trying our best not to make eye contact. It's almost as bad as doing icebreakers on the first day of school. Speaking of school, I've also had my fair share of stranger encounters while walking to school. One time some random mom asked if I wanted a ride to school, and being the intelligent individual that I am, I screamed stranger danger at the top of my lungs and sprinted away. I quickly said no and speed walked away. Even though I was a fully grown high schooler, it was broad daylight and there were other cars around, that still shook me up for the rest of the day. A way less traumatizing story I have is when I was peacefully walking home and it suddenly started pouring rain. My hair and clothes were completely soaked, but I was only a couple of minutes from getting home, so it didn't really matter. And I was not gonna run. Then a car driving by saw me and stopped right next to me. It was a dad and his son in the car, and the dad asked if I needed an umbrella in a very concerned voice. Probably because I was drenched head to toe with water, and I kept trying to tell him I didn't need it. After going back and forth a little too long, he finally gave up. I mean, it was a nice gesture, but the son low-key looked like he was trying to hide in the backseat, which is totally relatable if I was in his position. But you know, strangers aren't all that bad. There's a high chance that you'll never see them again, which is a good thing if you do something that eventually becomes a cringy memory that pops into your head years later. And a lot of people you meet could become your closest friends, you never know. Well, that's everything I have on the topic of strangers. It's kind of crazy thinking about how many random people you meet in a lifetime. It's around 80,000 for the average person, which is only .001% of the population. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!